Hey guys, welcome back to Kitten Care. I'm Liv, and if you're new to this channel, I'm a teen who has a passion for rescuing animals, but specifically orphan kittens. I just got back from out of town last night, so I am pretty exhausted. I did get my hair cut though, so comment down below if you like my hair. It's kind of out of topic, but you know. And I'm still wearing pajamas, so it's great. So I'll be answering some questions that people have asked me. Like, specifically, I'm not going to say their names, though, just because I don't know if people want me to, like, say their names, and just if I accidentally, like, get the question mixed up with the person, I don't want to, like, start any drama, you know what I mean? I don't think anyone would be like that, but, you know, just because I'm not going to say anyone's names. And I'm also going to be answering some questions that, like, not specific people ask me. I just have gotten asked kind of in general over the years of my fostering, just kind of, like, questions I get asked frequently by just, like, friends and family and stuff like that. So the first few, I believe, are by a specific person, so shout out to you. If you guys ask these questions, then you'll know that you asked it, so, yeah. It is, can you use a hot water bottle as a heating source? So, I would say generally no, because, okay, so first of all, a hot water bottle, I couldn't really picture it staying hot for a long time. I don't know. And also, kittens, like, they like to sit on top of the water bottle. Or they like to sit on top of the heating source. And a water bottle's, like, round, so they can't, like, climb up and sit on it. So they have to, like, be next to it, I guess. And also, if you put a hot water bottle, like, in, it could, like, if it was, like, plastic, it could melt, and that could be extremely dangerous. Or if it leaked, it would burn and drown the kitten. I would personally say no, don't use that. But for emergency situations, if you're, like, just found a kitten or rescued one, and if you're, like, supervising them as the only heating source you have, that would work. But I would not say for, like, a permanent heating source, just for, like, an emergency situation that would work. But I would say no, because there are a lot of other better alternatives. You can use, like, a sock filled with rice and tie it and put it in the microwave for, like, 30 seconds at a time. That stays warm, and it's perfectly safe, and then climb on it and stuff. Or you can get a snuggle safe. That's about $30, but it does stay warm for about 12 hours at a time. I have invested in one of those, and I really like it. So if you're going to be frequently fostering kittens, then I would recommend getting one of those. But if you're only going to be fostering 1 or 2 litters of kittens, like a kitten season or a year or something, I wouldn't buy one of those. But if you're going to be using it all the time, then yeah, I would say that one's a good one. Next question is, how do you sanitize kitten space? I actually just made a video about that, so I'll link it in the description box down below. But I pretty much just vacuum everything, throw everything away that cannot be sanitized, and then since I have carpet, I shampoo my floors. But if you have hardwood, then you could, like, mop it or steam mop it. And then my bed, I just like, wash my sheets and stuff, and I wipe down all the hard surfaces. So yeah, I made a whole video on that, so I'll link that in the description box down below. What are some good kitten formulas? I like the Pet Ag KMR, or there's a Pet Ag Milk Replacer Plus. I'm pretty much, they're all the same thing. But I would recommend getting the powder kind, not the liquid kind, because the liquid kind is a little can. It's only about, like, $5 a can, I think, $3 or $5 a can. And that can only will last, like, probably a day or two with, like, probably about, like, 3 kittens. Or maybe even less than that. Because you don't, like, mix with water or anything. But the powder, you mix 1 part powder with 2 parts water, so that goes a lot farther, and it's cheaper that way. But, like, if you have to buy the can, like, one time I went to the store and I had hungry kittens. I literally had 1 more feeding left of KMR, and all they had was the canned kind. I did get that, but I would not recommend getting, like, the canned pre-mixed kind, just because it's kind of pricier that way. But if you are willing or wanting to spend your money on that, then, I mean, go ahead and get it. That's your choice, but I would not recommend that. The next one is, how do you start up as a young teenager or beginner? So you're going to have a parent or guardian, like whoever you live with, I guess, be the one who, like, signs up and signs the papers for the kittens and stuff like that. But shelters are very, like, open to letting teens foster. You just have to have a parent on file, I guess. So like my mom, she filled out all the papers and information. It's like the Facebook thing. She uses her Facebook account because I don't have Facebook. And yeah, that's pretty much like how you sign up. You just have to have a parent or guardian sign up for you. And then also like for just like starting up, so like my shelter provides resources, like mostly. It's like sometimes they don't if they're running low, but like they definitely provide some. So, but if your shelter doesn't provide anything, maybe like if you have a birthday or Christmas or something, instead of asking for gifts, either ask for like money for kitten stuff, or just ask for kitten stuff in general. And then also, I don't really know like what else you're asking, so if you ask that question and you want like more of a specific answer to one specific thing of how to start up, then comment down below. But like I don't really know what else to say for that one. The next question is, how do you deal with the pain whenever they die unexpectedly? So it's okay. So when they just pass away and you're expecting it, it's easier to deal with the pain, but harder in a different way. So it's different for each kitten for me. I'm just gonna go through each of the kittens I've had that have passed away and kind of tell you how I deal with the pain and how I felt after they passed. So the first time I had a foster kitten that passed away. She was about 8 weeks old. I had her since she was 3 weeks. So she was old. She was healthy. Not old, but you know what I mean. She was a newborn kitten where they are more likely to die. She was healthy, running around. She was going to go back and get adopted in about like 3 days or something. I know, crazy. She didn't have any known medical issue. Just one day I went to go feed them in the morning and she was just laying there like dead. And I was just like, what happened? I still to this day don't know what happened. They like drawed her blood to make sure she didn't have any like parasite or anything like that her siblings could have had. So they are suspecting kind of like maybe like a heart disease or something like that, or she had like a seizure or something like that. So I'm not sure exactly how she passed away. That was definitely the hardest time of her passing, or of a kitten passing. Maybe because she was so old, I had her for such a long period of time. I had her for about like 5 weeks. 5 weeks, I think. Before she passed, so like I had her for over a month, so I got really attached to her. And that was also the first time of her passing, and it was just like so like a shock, and I just wasn't expecting it because I was also a lot younger then. But it was definitely the worst, like hardest for me is whenever she passed away. But I didn't really deal with it well that time. I literally did not do anything for like a few days. I just cried, and I couldn't even go near where her stuff was, like her litter box. I didn't want to go near her siblings. I just could think of her, which I kind of regret because I didn't really get to spend much time with her other siblings before they went back and got adopted. But that's how I dealt with her, which was not a good way to deal with it, but it's just kind of what happens. And then the next time that I had a kitten that passed away was a newborn kitten. I got them when they were 3 days old, and then when they were about 2 weeks old, I had two of them. One of them, his name is Basil, so I'll say Basil, and the other one was Chai. So Basil started getting super sick. They believe it was aspiration pneumonia. It's just where, like, since they're so young, they don't really have a gag reflex, so I probably accidentally fed her too quickly or like something. Sometimes they can just eat quickly, you know. It's not your fault. I don't know if it was my fault or not. I didn't try to do it, obviously, but like I'm not saying it wasn't my fault because it could have been my fault. And she got super sick, and then we called the shelter. Shelter was closed. They said like there's nothing they can really do. Just try turning on a hot shower, patting her, and try getting all the stuff up and open up her airway. And then later that night she passed away. So I was definitely expecting it. Like I was expecting it, and then I just saw her laying there, and I just cried and cried and cried. Yeah. So that time I was definitely more expecting it, but I didn't say I really dealt with it super well because I just. And then later on I realized that like, oh, it's for the best. Now, a few days later. So her brother Chai was doing amazing. He was like a lot bigger than her all along, so he was already like healthier than her all along. And he was like so good, eating a whole like bottle of formula, or a whole bottle of his milk for like, and he was only 2 weeks old, so like he ate a lot. He was so chunky, he was so cute. And one day my mom wasn't even home because she had to leave to bring my siblings somewhere. And then I woke up, went to go feed him, got his bottle, like he's normally like meowing, all happy to see me. He was just like laying there like stiff, and I was like, wait, what? And then he was like dead. And obviously I cried, but I didn't cry for as long because his sister just passed away a few days ago, so I kind of like already dealt with it. And I was like not really expecting it, but I was like, oh, there might just be a genetic thing. So yeah, that was probably, it definitely was easier than his sister and then Sparkle, the kitten that passed away, like that I was talking about, the older one. And then I had a kitten that had a seizure and passed away, which was the really hard because I watched it suffer and had a seizure. And I was just like, as soon as I saw it starting to have a seizure, I just kind of put my hand on it and was like, oh my gosh, is this actually it? And then it started having like a worse of a seizure. I picked him up, just held him next to my chest and just like started bawling my eyes out. And then I went to call my mom, and then we had to bring him to the vet. The vet said, okay, I'll keep him overnight. And what's really weird is right after I had the seizure, he hopped down on my lap and started playing and eating. I was like, wait, what? Was that not a seizure? So when we brought him, I wasn't really expecting it. I was like, maybe it wasn't a seizure. Maybe he was just like cold shaking. I don't know. So it wasn't really like, I didn't really say my last goodbyes because I thought he would just be perfectly fine. And then the vet said he had had a worse seizure and had to be euthanized. So that was heartbreaking. But I knew I could see him suffering, so I knew it was for the best. So that wasn't extremely hard because I was like, okay, it's better because I could actually see him suffering and I could like feel it in me, him suffering. And then my last kitten, I had Coda and Nala. And Nala, she passed away. I only had her for about 2 days, so I didn't really get super attached to her, but she had a very bad URI and suffering, and then we had to get her put down because she was just super suffering. That was definitely the least hard for me because I could I didn't get super attached to her. And also, she was, you could tell she was suffering. So, like, she could not breathe, she could not stand. Like, it was just really bad, so we had to get her euthanized. That was definitely the easiest for me because I, like, wanted her to get euthanized. Not wanted her, but, like, the shelter kind of was like, we probably have to euthanize her. Is that fine? And I was like, yes, please do, because I could see her suffering and I could hear her suffering because with her little meow. So that time was kind of like not really my choice because I think they were gonna do it no matter what. But I like kind of wanted her to because I knew it was gonna be for the best for her to get euthanized. So I kind of deal with each kitten's death differently, but there's definitely ones that are easier to deal with and ones that are harder to deal with. But yeah. How do you not want to foster fail every kitten? Foster failing is where you just keep the kitten that you're fostering. Whenever I get the kitten to foster, I think of it as me babysitting it for the shelter. I'm just raising the kitten and then go back. They're not my cat. That's what I think. And also, my parents will not let me foster fail, which really helped at first because I wanted to foster fail every kitten, and they just wouldn't let me because the parents obviously had to sign the papers for you to adopt them. So they wouldn't let me, and that kind of helped me not foster fail. And then now I'm just used to it where it's not even an option for me to keep the kitten, like, in my opinion. Like, I don't even ask my parents because I just, like, no, I'm not going to keep the kitten. Next one is Royal Canin a good kitten formula? I believe that's how you pronounce it. I didn't even know they made kitten formula. Because I just never seen it before. But make sure it's not cat milk, because cat milk is a treat for adult cats. It actually has to say kitten milk replacer or kitten formula, and the bottle says like kitten 0 to 8 weeks old, something like that. But I would say it would probably be a good one just because that is a good brand of food, but it's probably kind of pricey. Like the kitten formula I pay for is about $8 a can. I believe it's like 16 ounces of powder, 30 ounces of powder. I don't know. It's just like kind of like a standard kitten formula can. So yeah, I would say it's probably a good one, but make sure it's not cat milk, it's actually kitten formula. Next one is how do you know which nursing kit to get? You don't really need like a nursing kit. You just need a bottle and a kitten nipple. It's just like, I have another video on like my setup for newborn foster kittens, and I showed the bottles in there, but like they're just like little nipples. Also, Miracle Nipple's good. Yeah, I don't really say you need a nursing kit. All you need is a bottle and a nipple, and that's fine. Where do you get your foster kittens from? I get them from my animal shelter. Yeah, and Humane Society. Do you get paid to foster kittens? Nope, I don't get paid to foster kittens. Does it cost to foster kittens? Not directly. It's not like, oh, you have to pay to go get the kittens, but to provide stuff for them, it can get pricey, or you might have to pay for it, depending if the shelter provides it for you or not. Can foster kittens be with your own pets? You have to look at your own foster protocol, but I would say as long as they're over 4 weeks old and you've had them for more than 2 weeks to make sure they don't have any illnesses, and your shelter allows them to be with your own pets, then that's fine. And if your pets are fine with them, but I don't keep my animals with my own pets, and one of the shelters I fostered through, you can't keep them with your own pets. So just kind of like look at your own like shelter, your pet, and just kind of figure out what's best. How do you sleep if you have bottle babies? Well, it's pretty easy. The first few days can be pretty rough. They normally have to be, depending how old they are, they have to be fed about every 3 hours on just average. So, so I have to wake up every 3 hours, and then also, it probably takes about 30 minutes to feed an average of like 3 to 4 kittens. So, I'm just going to feed them, and then I will wake up, and then go back to sleep, and wake up, and go back to sleep. And it's pretty easy. And then, obviously, as they get older, you have to wake up less often, and they get more used to the bottle, so they just eat quicker. So, it's pretty easy. You just kind of get used to it. So, yeah. So, that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any more questions you would like me to answer. And, yeah, bye.